Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, Counter Spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve. Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Let's head to 79 Wistful Vista, see what's going on in the household of Fibber McGee and Molly. In this episode, going back to May 14th, 1946, Fibber is getting involved in politics. Oh boy.
Johnson Wax Program with Fibber McGee and Molly. The makers of Johnson's Wax products for home and industry present Fibber McGee and Molly with Bill Thompson, Gail Gordon, Arthur Q. Bryan, B. Benaderet, and me, Harlow Wilcox. The script is by Don Quinn and Phil Leslie. The music by the King's Men and Billy Mills Orchestra. All is peace and quiet in the McGee household at 79 Wistful Vista. No problems, no trouble, no discussions. In fact, nobody's home. So let's go out on the sidewalk and watch for Fibber McGee and Molly.
Are we almost home, Molly?
Well, that's a silly question, dearie. Don't you know your own neighborhood?
Yeah, but I can't see over this pile of groceries.
Courage, dearie. We're almost there. Chin up.
What do you mean, chin up? These bundles up under my throat, I haven't had my head so far back since I wish I could think of a gag about how far I had my head back.
All right, pet. Take 3 steps and then turn right. We're home. Oh, for goodness sakes, look who's sitting on our front steps.
Who, that guy from the finance company again? I told that so-and-so I'd pay him just as soon...
No. It's Mayor Latrivia.
Oh.
Hello there, Your Honor.
Hello, Molly. Good day, McGee. Let me help you set those packages down. Here. There we are.
Yeah,
Oh, that's nice.
thanks, Trivia. I haven't had such a loaf since a... Wow.
Pardon me?
I started to say I haven't had such a load since Liz Hawkins spiked the lemonade at the parent-teachers party in 1929. Almost threw me.
Yes, I see.
Been waiting long, Mr. Mayor? We'd have been home sooner, but himself here got his foot caught in the car tracks at 14th and Oak. It was a toss-up whether he'd come home in his socks or get run over.
How did you get loose, McGee?
Fortunately, I got sideswiped by a laundry truck. All the groceries flew into the air, and there I was.
Holding the bag. Did you want to see us about something, Mr. Mayor?
Yes, I did. A political situation has arisen in which I would like to ask McGee's help.
Well, boy, you sure come to the right place.
You certainly did. This is where he lives.
Just name it, Latriv. I've often said that I'm one of the shrewdest political minds in this state. I unseated Governor Broerby in 1937, you know, single-handed.
How did you do that, McGee?
He was riding in the park, and I waved a newspaper at his horse.
Ah, the power of the press.
I'm afraid this problem is not quite so simple, McGee. Do you know Councilman Zindelprang?
You mean F. Parker Zindelprang? What's he done now? Handed his brother-in-law another paving contract? That high binder has built sidewalks so far out in the country now you could roller skate from here to Kansas City.
Personally, I always thought Councilman Zindelprang was a good man, Mr. Mayor. I heard him speak one 4th of July, and he spoke very highly of the American flag.
Well, at least Councilman Zindelprang has shown a great talent for finance. On a salary of $4,500 a year, he scrimped together enough to buy a country estate, a yacht, 5 cars, and a string of racehorses.
Honestly?
I rather doubt it. However, the situation which has come up is this. Mr. Zindelprang is leaving town.
Good. We needed a purse snatcher like him around here, like Lake Erie needs rain. But what's your problem, Latriv?
Simply this. His leaving town creates a vacancy on the city council.
His membership on it was very little more than a vacancy.
Exactly. Now, the man we want to fill this interim appointment must be a man of integrity and character and have a majority support of the other council members. My personal choice is Clay Morgan.
Clay Morgan, that cheap ward heeler, that stogie-peddling, back-slapping, ballot-stuffing chiseler, why, that guy has taken so much hush money he has to whisper his bank deposits.
You have Morgan all wrong, McGee. He's a well-educated, a thoroughgoing gentleman and has a splendid reputation.
Not with me, he hasn't.
Now, McGee, just because he blackballed you at a lodge meeting way back in 1927...
Ah, so that's it.
That's it.
Well, if you don't want to lend your support, McGee, it's all right. But the only other man mentioned for the vacancy was such a non-entity that I felt sure you'd get behind Morgan for me.
The trivia, I'm too big a man to let a personal matter come before the good of our city. What do you want me to do, kid?
A little campaigning, Mr. Mayor? If so, himself here's just the man for the job. He licked so many envelopes in the last election, everything he ate for months tasted like mucilage.
Now, this must be a quiet campaign, McGee. All we have to do is get people to ask their own councilman to support Clay Morgan. Can I depend on you?
100%, old man. Clay Morgan is as good as appointed as of now, and I know whereof I speak. I've been dabbling in politics since I was a mere boy. People never realized my power because I had such a childish face. Baby Kisser McGee, I was known as in them days.
Oh, dear.
Baby Kisser McGee, the battling bantam of the ballot box, boisterous, brainy, and brilliant, balling the junior out of button-brained bosses, beating the bloomers off bickering bilbos, bulldozing big-mouth bureaucrats, bleating the biggest bromides a big shot could utter, watch the groceries or tip you got your foot in the butter.
May 14th, 1946, Fibber McGee and Molly on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. 833-34-BIBLE.
All right, let's get back to the political scene in Wistful Vista. See what's going on with Fibber McGee and Molly. This episode from May 14th, 1946 on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Boy, do I know my politics. Them councilmen are going to crawl into Clay Morgan on their little fat hands and knees and beg him to be on the council. I hope he'll remember it when I get to be governor.
Heavenly days. Are you seriously considering running for governor, dearie?
Yeah, but just as a stepping stone to higher things. My ultimate goal is being ambassador to Havana.
Why?
Better cigars. But that's for the future. I got to get busy. Hand me the phone again, will you?
I shudder to think what our phone bill will be this month. You've made more calls than a brush salesman with a hungry family of 12.
I'm conducting this campaign in a dignified way.
Yes, you are.
Too dignified. I think if we get a higher type of man into public office, there'll be less graft. And with less graft, things won't get done so fast. That's giving more work to more people. Hand me the phone.
Here, Hannigan.
Thanks. Hello, operator. Give me Al's Barbershop at 14th and... Oh, is that you, Mert?
Oh, dear.
How's every little thing, Mert? Say. What say, Mert? You what? Got some real nylon hose.
Oh, ask her where and what sizes are available, McGee.
Where'd you get it and what size, Mert? Oh.
What'd she say?
At Doc Schellenberger's hardware store, and it only comes in one size, 25 feet, including the nozzle. What say, Mert? Okay, thanks.
I'd have this phone taken out if it wasn't so hard to get another one.
Hello, Al's Barbershop. Hi, Al. It's Fibber McGee speaking. How's the old clip joint doing, Al? Swell. Look, kid, here's an inside tip. The city council is considering a new tax on barbershops, you see. And if we can get Clay Morgan on the city council, he'll kill it. Yeah. Contact your own councilman and have him plug for Morgan. Okay, Al. Don't mention it, boy. I'll see you in July for my next haircut.
What's all this bread pudding about a tax on barbershops? I hadn't heard about that.
Neither did anybody else. But there's nothing like a barber as a political agent. Nobody's going to argue with a guy who's hanging over his throat with a razor. You see, my theory is...
Come in. Oh, Oh, it's Mrs. Carstairs. Hello, Millicent.
Good day, my dear. How do you do, Mr. McGee? Oh, good heavens, you look busy with all those pencils and that pile of papers.
In the middle of a political campaign, Carsty, one of the city councilmen is leaving town.
Yes, I know. Mr. Zindelprang.
Right.
I understand he's been dipping into the pork barrel so long he couldn't shake hands without grunting.
You said it, kiddo. He's as crooked as Harry Lauder's cane. The man we want for the new councilman is Clay Morgan.
Himself here is campaigning for Mr. Morgan, Millicent. And believe me, any man that my husband gets behind is way ahead.
You betcha. Now, look, Carsty, your husband's being a big man in public utilities. His word ought to swing a little weight, you see. Tell him that if he'll throw his influence behind Clay Morgan, I won't open my trap about that income tax deal of his in 1942. Favor for a favor. That's the way I work.
Mr. McGee, that sounds suspiciously like blackmail.
Never mind now, never mind. You just tell your husband what I says, Carsty, that's all.
I will, Mr. McGee, although I'm sure I don't know what you're talking about.
Which makes it practically unanimous.
Just tell him, that's all. Income tax 1943.
You said 1942.
He'll know. I ain't the kind of a run-down heel that would try to collect a percentage from the Treasury Department for turning a guy in, too, either. All I want from him is his support for Clay Morgan.
Well, I shall tell him exactly what you said, Mr. McGee. And if I may say so, I think you are definitely cut out for a political career.
Do you really think so, Millicent?
I do indeed. He has the head of a statesman.
You really think so, Carsty?
I really do, Mr. McGee. You have the type of head that should be stamped on,
A coin?
No, my dear, just stamped on. Good day.
McGee, that was dirty politics. What do you know about Mr. Carstairs' income tax?
Not a thing, baby, not a thing.
Well, then what good will it do for her to mention it to him?
Don't be naive, my dear. To any guy in a tax bracket like his, all you got to do is say Internal Revenue, and he starts shaking like a wet spaniel.
Even if he's innocent?
Particularly if he's innocent. An innocent guy's got so much respect for the government, it scares him to death. It's the black market big shots that laugh it off.
Well, I don't believe it. The government was very fair with you when you tried to claim a deduction for being the sole support of the Elks pool table. Because you were always tearing the cloth.
Oh, they're fair enough, but a guy like Carstairs is...
Hello, folks.
Hello there, Mr. Wilcox.
Hi, Junior. I want to talk to you, son. You got any influence with the City Hall mob?
I know a few of the boys, yes. And if it's about that campaign of yours to get people to take the keys out of their cars, I hear...
Don't you start doing it now.
No, Mr. Wilcox. It has nothing to do with that.
Well, anyway, the campaign is going wonderfully. Juvenile car stealing is down 50%, and the police department is issuing summonses to people who leave their cars with the key in the ignition.
Yes, we know. McGee got one.
He did? When, pal?
Last Wednesday. I was in a hurry and forgot. Left my car outside the Careful Drivers Club with the key in it.
What were you in such a hurry for?
Well, he was late and he had to make a speech about not leaving car keys in the ignition.
Sure taught me a lesson, Junior. Now I tie a string onto the ignition key and the other end on my cufflinks.
So far, he's torn the sleeves out of 5 shirts and lost 7 pairs of cuff buttons.
But I get the key out, though. Anyway, Junior, that ain't the campaign I want to discuss. You hear about Councilman Zindelprang leaving town?
Yeah, great little character. What about him, pal?
Well, the council has got to appoint a guy to replace him, see? A couple of fellows are being considered, but the man we want in there is Clay Morgan.
Oh, yes, Morgan's a good man. He's from Racine, Wisconsin, you know.
No kidding, Junior. You know him from there, do you?
Oh, quite well. In fact, when I first started selling Johnson's self-polishing glow coat...
Selling what, Mr. Wilcox?
Johnson's self-polishing glow coat.
How you spell it?
G-L-O, trapeze, C-O-A-T.
Don't you mean hyphen?
I call it trapeze because thereby hangs a tail. You see, Johnson's glow coat...
Excuse me for interrupting, Junior, but what does this glow coat do?
Are you kidding?
Yes.
I thought so. Why, you know as well as I do that it's the standard beauty treatment for I mean, you just pour a little out, spread it around, and in 20 minutes or less it dries to a glittering protective finish. Eliminates old-fashioned scrubbing and makes footprints and spill things easy to wipe off.
Off what?
Off your kitchen linoleum. Linoleum. You know, that floor covering that Johnson's no rubbing, no buffing glow coat restores the beauty to and gives it that easy-to-clean sparkle.
You mean linoleum?
That's what I said.
You said what?
What Molly said.
Linoleum.
Certainly.
Look, Waxy. I'll make you a dill.
A dill? A dill yet? Okay, pal, a deal it is.
You pass the word to your friends on the city council to back Clay Morgan, and I won't snitch to Racine about you not being able to pronounce that word.
You mean linoleum?
Yeah.
It's a deal, pal. See you later.
McGee, did you hear him? He said it.
He said what?
Manoli, well, anyway, he said it was a deal. You think Mr. Morgan will get the appointment, dearie?
With me behind him, Snooky, he can't miss. It's a lucky thing for him that Latrivia begged me to organize this campaign. Lucky for our city, too. My gosh, we might have missed.
I'll get it.
Better let me. Might be Harry Truman wanting me to handle his next campaign. Clay Morgan for Councilman Headquarters, Campaign Manager McGee speaking. Huh? Who? Oh, hi, Latrivia. Huh? Oh, sure. Oh, sure, if you want me to. No, I won't have to write it out. I'll speak extemporaneous. Yeah. Okay, boy, just relax. I'll be there.
Be where?
City Hall. Latrivia wants me to give a short speech to the council in favor of Clay Morgan.
May I go with you? You know, I'd like to get one good look at the characters who decided that 45 minutes was time enough to park and try to buy new bed linen. If men only knew. Come in.
Hello, folks.
Ah, hello there, Mr. Wimple.
Hi, Wimp. What's the matter with you, Wimp? You look kind of cast down.
I was, Mr. McGee. Down the front steps. I had a little argument with Sweetie Face. Sweetie Face, it's my big old wife.
Must have been pretty humiliating to be thrown down your own front steps, Mr. Wimple.
Yes, I'm pretty blue about it.
You are, huh?
Yes, and black, too.
By the way, Mr. Wimple, do you know Clay Morgan?
Oh, indeed I do, Mrs. McGee. He's a fine man. If I ever have a son, I hope he grows up to be just like Clay Morgan. You know, wealthy.
Well, I'm glad you like him, Wimp. I'm handling his campaign to get him onto the city council, you see. So, as soon as you can, you get in touch with anybody you know in the city hall and give him a plug, okay?
Oh, I'll be very happy to, Mr. McGee. In fact, I'll go down to the city hall personally. I don't dare go home for a while anyway.
Why not, Mr. Wimple?
Oh, Sweetie Face is really on the warpath today, Mrs. McGee. She's just livid. You see, we were going to take a hike through the woods, and Sweetie Face put on a new pair of tights to go walking in. And
what do you mean, tights?
Don't you mean slacks, Mr. Wimple?
They may be slacks on some women, Mrs. McGee, but on Sweetie Face, they're tights. Anyway, she asked me how they looked, and I said very ship-shape, forgetting that her father had been captain of a tugboat, and she knew what shape a ship was. Oh, I paid for that remark, believe me.
Is your wife at home now, Wimp?
Yes, up on the roof.
What on earth is she doing up on the roof?
Oh, she climbed up to fix the radio aerial, and some thoughtless person took the ladder away.
Well, who would do a thing like that?
I wonder. Well, I'll do what I can for Mr. Morgan, Mr. McGee. Goodbye now.
Oh, my, this is the first time I've been in the city hall for a long time, McGee. Who are all those people standing around the corridors?
My dear girl, that is one of the great mysteries of every city hall in the country. There's one scientific theory that they are people who are left over from watching the excavating when the building was built. Another theory is that, oh, hi, Doc. Hello. Hey, Molly, here's Doc Gamble.
Hello there, Dr. Gamble.
Hello, Molly. Hello, String Saver. What brings you two honest taxpayers down into this marble palace of greed and corruption?
That's a fine way for the city health commissioner to talk, Duckfoot. Are you inferring that the present administration is crooked?
Personally, I don't believe it, not with Mayor Latrivia in office.
You're perfectly right, my dear. I was just joking with my usual bad taste. Wistful Vista has about the cleanest government of any city in the country. The mayor is painfully honest. The commissioners are a splendid body of men, and I should know, being one of them.
Oh.
And the city council are, with one exception, beyond reproach.
We know who you mean, too, Zindelprang.
But he's moving out of town, Doctor.
He certainly is. We have arranged to have his baggage searched at the airport to be sure he doesn't walk off of the Oak Street Bridge or some playground equipment.
You know who McGee is campaigning for to take over the vacancy in the council, Doctor?
Well, I naturally suppose
Well, you can stop supposing, Pill Roller. I'm handling the Clay Morgan campaign.
You?
Me.
How did it happen that the mayor picked you to handle the situation, Tidwillow? When it comes to politics, you're wetter than a handkerchief at a showing of Sentimental Journey.
I think he's done very well with this campaign, Doctor. He's lined up everybody with influence in town, just about.
Yes, sir. For your information, Capsule Happy, I'm practically the Jim Farley of Wistful Vista. When it comes to politics, nobody can hold a candle to me.
Too bad. Seems like a wonderful idea. Well, I've got to get upstairs and wrangle with the sewer commissioner.
Matter of public health, Doctor?
No, a matter of 97 cents he owes me for gin rummy. See you later, Molly. So long, fancy pants.
May 14th, 1946, Fibber McGee and Molly here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. We'll have the conclusion coming up shortly, along with another yours truly, Johnny Dollar story. But first, this.
No offense, but are you a little fat when you look in the mirror? How would you like to learn the secrets to lose 3 to 5 pounds a week easily without joining the gym or going through any crazy diets? It's called Body Sculpt by Med Diet. For the last 2 decades, we've been helping people just like you that have pounds they want to shed. We've helped millions of people lose thousands and thousands of pounds over the years. And now it's your turn. Learn the secrets of how to lose weight with one simple phone call. You'll see an amazing difference in a matter of days. Don't believe us? We'll offer you a money-back guarantee. If you're ready to start losing weight right now, call right now to learn more about your risk-free order to Body Sculpt.
Call for your risk-free offer. 800-738-5332. 800-738-5332. 800-738-5332. That's 800-738-5332.
Are you in bad pain? You know what I mean. Your knees hurt. Your shoulder hurts. Your elbow and back are constantly killing you. And I'm sure you've tried every pain pill or cream available at the drugstore. Am I right? Well, here's something you haven't tried. Pain Magic. Pain Magic is not available at any drugstore. The only place you can get it is by calling the special toll-free number I'm about to give you.
And to make things even better, call right now and find out about our buy one, get one free offer. We're so confident it'll work for you that we offer a free bottle with your purchase. No prescription required.
Call now to learn how you can get Pain Magic and get rid of your pain. Remember, your results may vary.
800-492-8164. 800-492-8164. 800-492-8164. That's 800-492-8164.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the conclusion of Fibber McGee and Molly, May 14th, 1946.
Isn't it about time you're doing the council chamber, McGee?
Yeah. Where's that extemporaneous speech I wrote out? Oh, here it is. Now, let me see. Gentlemen of the council, I am here on the behalf...
Not on the behalf, dearie. I am here on behalf.
But you're not here on anybody's behalf. I'm here on the behalf.
That's not the point. You don't say the behalf, just behalf.
Just behalf what?
Skip it. Go on with the speech.
Gentlemen, at a time of political crisis, like this here one, like this one here, it behooves us all... And so, in conclusion, gentlemen of the council, I say appoint Clay Morgan, a man of the people, a man who has the best interests of the public at heart, A man who has a splendid record of Bing Crosby singing Don't Fence Me.
No, McGee, no.
What was it, White Christmas?
No.
I mean a splendid record of civic accomplishments. Gentlemen, Clay Morgan is that man. I thank you.
I agree with it. Thank you, Mr. McGee. Now, if you and your wife will be so kind as to step out into the corridor, the council will take an immediate vote.
You betcha, kid. Take your time. Come on.
Oh, that was a very convincing speech, McGee. You made Clay Morgan sound like a combination of Daniel Boone, Abraham Lincoln, Henry Kaiser, and Santa Claus.
Betcha, when I throw my influence behind a man, I always...
Well, McGee, it's all set. Morgan got the appointment, and I want to tell you...
He did? We were... Well, my gosh. Well, say, that's pretty good when a guy can walk into politics and turn the city hall upside down like I did. Beat the opposition in one swell whoop. Hey, who was the opposition anyhow, Latriv?
Why, I thought you knew, McGee.
No. Who was the guy we beat?
You.
Me? You mean I was campaigning against myself all this time? Hey, ain't that marvelous, Molly?
What's marvelous about it?
I put on such a powerhouse campaign for Morgan, I never would have had a chance to win myself. Oh, boy, what a manager. What a politician. Now, look, Latrivia, next time you run for mayor, here's what we'll do.
Oh, this is wonderful.
Do you think of car polishing as a hard job? If so, you'd be surprised how many women write in to say they think nothing of polishing a car all by themselves these days. Of course, these ladies have discovered Johnson's Car New, the wonderful wax-fortified liquid car cleaner that's so easy to use. You men will appreciate Car New, too, because it eliminates hard rubbing. As a matter of fact, Johnson's Car New does two jobs at once. It cleans and polishes in one application. You simply apply it, rubbing only hard enough to loosen the grime. Then you let it dry to a white powder. When you wipe off this powder, road dirt and dullness go right along with it. And you get the surprise of your life. The finish really sparkles. And your whole car looks like new again. Why don't you try Car New? You not only have a shining car you'll be proud to drive, but you maintain your car's trade-in value. Car New is spelled C-A-R-N-U, Johnson's Car New.
I'm sure glad I got Clay Morgan onto the city council, Molly. You know why?
No, why?
Because Morgan is president of the Bar Association. Now I can pop into any joint in town, grab a handful of pretzels, and nobody can say a word.
The Bar Association, dearie, is an organization of lawyers.
What? It is?
You sure?
Oh, well, I don't care much for pretzels anyway. Good night.
Good night, all.
This is Harlow Wilcox speaking for the makers of Johnson's Wax Products for Home and Industry, inviting you to be with us again next Tuesday night. Good night. This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
May 14th, 1946, Fibber McGee and Molly on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Are you suffering with arthritis or osteoporosis? Do you have diabetes? Did you know that these are just two of the hundreds of diseases that have seen improvement with Dr. Wallach's incredible longevity products? You can't get them at a health food store. The only way to get them is to call us at 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. Do you have heart disease, fibromyalgia, or high blood pressure? Do you have a terrible time losing weight? Dr. Wallach can help. He was a veterinarian and cured diseases in animals. He felt that he could do the same for humans, so he became a physician. Over 50 years of research and helping people like you goes into every bottle of Dr. Wallach's amazing discoveries. Do you want to feel better? Learn how to treat the cause of your problem rather than covering up the symptoms with drugs. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, we start a brand new Yours Truly Johnny Dollar story. This episode, originally broadcast May 14th, 1956, begins The Medium Well Done Matter.
From Hollywood, it's time now for
Johnny Dollar.
Hi, Johnny. Pat McCracken at Universal Adjustment Bureau.
Hiya, Patsy. What's on your mind?
Had your fortune told lately?
Nope, but I don't think I want to. The last time it came true.
Oh, what was it?
Well, this Madame Gaga went into a transom or whatever you call it, and...
Trance boys, if you didn't know.
Yeah, anyhow, she told me I was going to become an insurance investigator, and I've been stuck with it ever since.
Sad. But now, how'd you like to try your hand as a psychic investigator?
Sure, what do I do?
Drop over, will you?
I'm on my way.
Tonight, and every weekday night, Bob Bailey in the transcribed adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to the Universal Adjustment Bureau, Hartford, Connecticut. Following is an accounting of expenditures during my investigation of the matter of the medium. Well done. Expense account item 115, taxi to the office of Pat McCracken at Universal. I hadn't seen Pat since he'd ruined my Southern California vacation by insisting I tie it in with the Jolly Roger matter in the Lamar case, where my expense account, for some strange reason, came out to a right nice figure. I've even included the case of VO that I'd sent him for having handed me those investigations. So I didn't know whether he was going to be nice to me or to rub my nose in the dirt. As it turned out, he didn't know either.
Now, I don't quite know whether this is going to be another soft touch for that expense account of yours, or a completely crazy one, or real rough. Tommy Green seems to think the latter, though I don't see why particularly.
Yeah, who's Tommy Green?
Mid-Eastern life down in New York. Oh, but just bill me as usual.
Sure, okay.
Now, Tommy says he's run into this sort of thing before, but not on so big a scale. That's why he's worried about it.
Pat, you still haven't told me what.
Oh. Now, one of his clients happens to be a sweet young thing named Carol Sharp, 26 or 7, beautiful, badly spoiled.
Love him that way.
What?
Nothing. Go on.
Yes. She lives alone in a swank penthouse in the East 50s down there in New York. Playgirl. Tommy holds a $110,000 policy on her. Straight life.
Beneficiary?
Her family, mother, and a couple of kid brothers.
No father?
No. The others live over in Mauchunk, PA. That's where her father made the dough that keeps her in the penthouse and keeps the others living well in the old family manse.
So, what's the problem? Somebody threatening her life?
I don't know, Johnny. It depends on what you mean by threatening. She's just requested Tommy to change beneficiaries.
What's so unusual about that?
Well, one of them is to be a man named Tony Ricardo for $30,000.
Oh, so she's fallen for the guy and is making the nice gesture.
Maybe. We don't know yet. The other is a so-called medium, Madame Celia something.
I've heard it before. Turn the family fortune over to me and I'll get in touch with dear departed Papa.
That's what it looks like from here. She's being took.
But how can it be any of our business?
Last time Tommy was requested to change a beneficiary to a medium, his hale and hearty young client suddenly turned up dead.
And they pinned it on the medium?
Mm-hmm. Apparently this sort of thing goes on quite a bit. So it has Tommy worried, so he asked for you.
All right, just what's he want me to do?
What do you want to do?
Break out the old crystal ball, Pat, and we'll see. Expense account item 2, transportation, Hartford to New York, and the offices of Mid-Eastern, where Tommy Green turned out to be a mild-mannered, thoroughly likable, successful insurance broker.
Come in, Mr. Dollar. Glad you could make it.
How do, Mr. Green?
Sit down, won't you?
Thanks.
I suppose Pat McCracken's told you what's on my mind.
Only that you think one of your clients is being taken for the proverbial sleigh ride by some spiritualist.
As you no doubt know, Mr. Dollar, spiritualism is a recognized, well-established religion.
Sure, of course.
However, as in any other, there are charlatans. And some of these mediums, as they call themselves, take literally millions of dollars every year from people by trickery, by producing weird manifestations that appear to be genuinely supernatural.
Tommy, I know what you mean.
My own mother took a beating from one of those phonies when I was just a kid. You know, promised messages from Father after he died, and at $25 a try.
Wow. No wonder you're suspicious of them.
And especially of one Madame Celia Morgana.
Have you seen this, madam?
No, but I believe you'd better.
Mm-hmm. Have you changed, what's her name, Carol Sharp's policy yet?
No, but I'm afraid I can't stall her much longer.
And you're afraid that once you do change it, Carol ain't going to be long for this world, huh?
It's happened before, Dollar.
Yeah. Well, I can't just barge in on this Madame Morgana, announce that I'm an insurance investigator, and then another... Hey, wait a minute. What's the name of this other beneficiary?
Tony Ricardo.
Yeah, who is he?
All I know is what Carol's told me.
Love affair?
Yeah. He sounds like a playboy. They do a lot of night clubbing together.
Money?
I don't know.
Family?
I don't know that either.
But he's in for 30 of the 110,000 if anything happens to her.
If we change the policy. How are you going to start?
Well, if this Carol Sharp is all Pat McCracken says she is, this case could have a very pleasant beginning. I stuck around with Tommy Green long enough to listen to him verify what Pat had said about Carol's family, wealth, etc. Take a look at a snapshot of her and get her address. Item 3180, taxi to the Bell Towers at 614 East 52nd Street. A magnificent modern apartment hotel at the edge of the East River. Real swank. The place even had its own private docks with several well-kept cruisers tied up and even a small seaplane. Pat, I warn you, this expense account ain't going to be small.
Yes, may I help you, sir?
Yes, you can. I'd like a small apartment for a few days.
Are you alone, sir?
Yes.
Well, we still have a small 5-room penthouse suite for $1,500 a month.
Huh?
With complete maid service, of course.
Oh, of course.
And on a minimum 1-year lease, of course.
Look, all I want is a bedroom, living room type of thing, and I may be here only a week or so.
Oh, well, in that case, I'm afraid there's nothing we can do for you unless... Tell me, sir, do you have any recommendations from any of our tenants?
Look, I'm an insurance investigator. Here, my card.
Oh.
And I want something as close as possible to Miss Carol Sharp's apartment. But I don't want to have to rob Fort Knox.
Private investigator, did you say?
Yeah, that'll do.
Oh, dear. Surely Miss Sharp can't be in any kind of... I mean, think what it would mean to our reputation, Mr. Dollar.
Stop worrying, will you? She isn't in any kind of trouble, yet. But for reasons that, they don't particularly concern you, I need to be as close to her as I can.
Ah, what a pleasant thought.
And for the same reason, I don't want her to know what my business here is.
Of course. Believe me, Mr. Dollar, I'm the very soul of discretion.
Good. See that you stay that way. Now, have you got a room or two for me?
Oh, let me see. Now, she's in penthouse A on floor 12. There is a 2-room on 10, very nice, at $325 a week. With complete service, of course.
Okay, I'll take it.
Very well. Just sign this card, please. And, oh, dear, I'm afraid I must have a week in advance.
Oh, sure. What's a measly $325? When the 2 bellboys who carried up my 2 bags at $1 apiece settled me in 1013, I must admit the place looked almost worth a tab. Tastefully furnished, spit and polished clean, and with a plate glass panorama view of the bustling East River. Yeah, I wish for a moment that I could afford this sort of lodging. First thing I did was telephone to an old pal.
Detective Division, Sergeant Singer.
Hey, look, Sarge, I need a rundown on a dirty crook.
Who's speaking, please?
He's going around acting like an insurance stick, but he's a crook.
Oh, what's his name?
Dollar, Johnny Dollar. And I tell you, that punk is as crooked as they come.
Don't go any further. We know all about him. We got word here in New York that we'll put a stakeout on him the minute we spot his hideout.
That copper I can give you.
Good, Johnny. Just where you staying?
Hi, you old reprobate. I'm at the Towers, East 52nd.
The tower? Expense account, huh?
How'd you guess? I want to see you.
In exactly 21 minutes, I'll punch the time clock and be over.
Room 1013.
Right. Oh, and be sure it's with soda.
Easy, boy. Give you any encouragement, you'll want to name the brand of scotch. Item 4, 1220. 1 bottle of scotch and setups for 2.
Sure, Johnny. Knew her from when I was doing a nightclub beat.
And she's lived in town for quite a while, huh?
Yeah, a couple of years at least.
How much do you know about her, Randy?
Not much. She's loaded. Throws her money around like it's confetti.
Yeah, I figured that when I found her staying here. Father left it to her.
Coal miner, wasn't he?
Owned a big colliery in Frankville, Pennsylvania, somewhere near Mauchunk.
Well, it must have paid off good in the old days. But tell me, you want to give me a refill?
Yeah, sure. Ever hear of a Madame Celia Morgana?
Huh. I've chased that blousy old phony from one end of the island to the other. I look into the crystal ball, and I see into the past, the present, the future, and into your pocketbook. Yeah, and man, she could. I think she's operating somewhere over on the Jersey side now. Oh,
yeah.
Thanks.
But she's still operating.
Operating with real class. Last time we picked her up and kicked her out.
How do you mean?
Nice apartment over here on the east side. Classy clientele. Hey, is Carol Sharp hooked by her?
Appears so. Just how does she work?
Well, the usual way the phonies do. Goes into a trance, writhes around like a seasick rattlesnake, then gives with the voices.
Voices?
You know, speaks with the tongues of the departed.
Hey, look, where's the money angle in this
Well, she makes like the trances cause her great agony of body and mind. Starts with the pitch about doctor bills, and the more clients can afford, the more they pay.
thing? And they don't get wise?
Yeah, she's smart. Works it like a serial story, Continued next week?
No, I don't know. Brief me.
Well, at each seance, she tells them just enough to whet their appetite for more. Leads right up to the next hot bit of information, has them hanging on every word, then bingo, the trance is over.
Ah.
However, if you come back next week when I recover my strength. So they pay her off and they're back a week later to play games with her again.
I don't know. Seems pretty obvious to me.
Well, that's because you've never attended a seance run by an artist at it. Hey, why don't you?
I think I will.
I'll see what I can dig up for you.
You mean there are still some going on around town?
Some. Dozens, hundreds probably. Kick them out of one place, they move to another, unless you can tie a serious rap on them.
Which reminds me, Tommy Green told me...
Yeah, I handled that one myself for Madame Gabor Chernarsky. Got a sweet old man to sign over his fortune and had him knocked off. Oh, that's a dirty racket.
Yeah, religion, science, the professions, they all leave an open door to the racketeers, I guess. Okay, set up a seance for me, Randy. And meantime...
Yeah?
Run me a make on Tony Ricardo, will you?
Ricardo?
Yeah, he's the other one Carol Sharp wants to name as a beneficiary.
Besides the medium?
Yeah. Beneficiary of a whopping big life policy.
Okay, good, Johnny. I'll call you later.
While I took my time showering and changing clothes, I racked my brain trying to cook up a smooth way to meet Carol Sharp. Under no circumstances did I want her to suspect the reason behind my interest in her, at least not for the present. Requisite number one, then, meet the gal. I was just tying my tie when the phone rang. Johnny Dollar.
Randy, Johnny.
Oh, hi, Rand. Set up a date with a medium?
Yeah, for tonight, but that's not what I'm calling about. Johnny, I could write a book for you.
Huh?
On Tony Ricardo, and I don't think you'd like it. You seen him yet?
No, but I will as soon as I can locate him.
Well, if he finds out what you're working on, he'll locate you.
Fine.
Yeah, just be sure you see him first, and that you're carrying a gun.
Thanks, Randy.
Now, here's our star to tell you about tomorrow's intriguing episode of this week's story.
Tomorrow, well, sometimes the best laid plans can take a terrible beating when a lovely girl steps into the picture. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, is transcribed in Hollywood. It is produced and directed by Jack Johnstone, who also wrote tonight's story. Be sure to join us tomorrow night, same time and station, for the next exciting episode of Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Roy Rowan speaking.
That's part one of the 5-part Yours Truly Johnny Dollar story, The Medium Well Done Matter, from May 14th, 1956, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. And you can get all of the Yours Truly Johnny Dollar stories going all the way back to 1949, pre-Bob Bailey, and all the ones to the very end of the line. They're all available through my friend Ted at RadioMemories.com. RadioMemories.com on cassette, CD, or flash drive. He'll shoot them right out to you. thank this radio station, support their advertisers. It's their kindness and courtesy that allows us to be with you each and every time we roll around here on your favorite station. And if you miss a day, you don't have to miss a single show. All of our shows are available through iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcast, Amazon, Facebook. Just search for Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Or on my webpage, classicradio.stream, where you can stream our shows on demand. You can learn more about building a classic radio collection of your own. You can also contact me there, classicradio.stream. Have yourself a great day. Tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.